Alright, so I'm here at the corner of 5th Avenue. Let's see if we can capture this. In front of the University Club. And I'm just going to show you, it says it was built in 1899, which again falls in line with the alleged false chronology of all the Mudflood research. Now, what I want to direct you to in this building is interesting. Obviously, the architecture, you see the fancy ceiling in there. But look down here at the windows. And as you can see, there are these graded windows along the street level. And they go right down. They try to get you in. Look at that. Go up. The window keeps going down. And they go right down. You can't see that one as well. This one's lit. Oh, it was lit. It looks like they just turned the lights off after I started the video. Well, it's pretty interesting. But anyway, that's the spot. And it looks like it. So what do you know? This interesting neighborhood, Midtown Manhattan, has some of the most expensive real estate in the world, right up there with Tokyo. It's very hard to get in. So that was the University Club, a corner of West 54th and 5th Avenue. And if you look at these other buildings, a lot of similar style stuff. Right here, I'm on West 55th now. There's the St. Regis. I'm looking for especially are the windows that go down beneath the street level. So if you look behind those grades, you'll find that the windows keep going down like another several feet below the street level. And I don't know. Here we have the columns. I'm walking east on West 55th Street now. Actually, I guess I'm on east. Now I'm on East 55th Street. 5th Avenue is the demarcation line of east and west in Manhattan. So if you go from one side of the street to the other, you're either on the east or the west side. And I'm headed east. So that was it. I wanted to show you the University Club. And yeah, the lights were on when I started the live video, and then they turned them off as soon as I went to it. So isn't that cute? Well, maybe I'll stop back by and do another one during the daytime. But look at this stuff. It's pretty cool architecture. There's the St. Regis. Just see if there's any windows. I don't know. A lot of this stuff has been covered up now. You know, we're 100 years later. So many changes in this city. I don't see any. But there's some construction going on here. That building looks older. The rest of them are newer. They've taken down a lot. So if I can swing back by this same location during the daytime, I'll see if I can get some live video of the windows. But definitely take a look at that if you're into the Mudflood Tartarian architecture. Take a look at that building, the University Club. It's an historical landmark in New York City, on the corner of 5th Avenue and West 54th Street. I was just walking by and spotted it. I was looking at a lot of the older buildings along 5th Avenue there, which is known for the Mudflood architecture. And just keeping an eye open since I got it going live now. Looks like they're building new stuff though. But yeah, I don't know of any reason for that style of subterranean windows that are basically like a normal window for a giant. You know, if you're a 10-foot tall person, you need a really big window, and 90% of the window is underground. So just like the top 2 feet of the window are above street level, and the rest of the window is intact. It's intact. It's just below street level, and it's behind bars. Pretty wild. So, okay, I thought I'd show that. Here's one. This looks like an old building. The Friars Club here. See the sign? Friars Club. And the entrance is going down here. And that's what they say is that they just moved the entrance to go across the street. This is the really giant windows. Now, I grew up in in Brooklyn in the 1980s. We had 10-foot ceilings. These ceilings are much higher here. And so again, the Friars Club, not that big a building, but it has that old architectural style. And that is, I guess, East 55th Street, I think, is where I am. I'll keep this video going live until I get to the corner here. But that's about it for now, unless I see anything more interesting. Yeah, so that building, the Friars Club, is another one. If anybody's researching this stuff, it has what looks like an entrance underground, and the main entrance, it looks like it's on what used to be the second floor. So, and that was 57 East 55th Street, between 5th Avenue and Park Avenue. Let's see, can I get the street sign in the picture there? You can see Park Avenue and East 55th Street. All right, here's some more construction going on. A lot of construction. There's another building across the street, Steiger. I'm gonna go ahead and look at that. Does that look like it might be Mudflood? I don't know. It doesn't have like the 12-foot ceiling or the 14-foot ceilings of the Tartarian architecture. But it does have, does look like it's awfully close to street level, or possibly even below street level. So let's see. 417 Park Avenue, still on East 55th Street here. And what does the entrance do? Does the entrance go down? Yeah, it's got a ramp now. And there you go. There are these grates, they say, are for the air. Interesting, though. Here's an entrance on the side. Yeah, it goes back there, but it looks like a new brick building. So I doubt it's any actual... Well, it's brick on the side, but it has these big stone walls. So it's really hard to say. But it does look like, I mean, like this door right here, there are no steps leading up to it. So it's right on street level. And then it goes down a little bit. So who knows? This is the neighborhood. New York City, Manhattan. And just a walk down West 54th and East 55th Street. It doesn't take much. After you listen to some other people's voices, follow their research, see what you find if you're in the right place. SUNY Global Center. This is another kind of oldish building. Fancy brickwork there. I don't know if you can see with all the lights. Kind of hard to tell. I'll put it up. So that's it. It could be the tall windows. And you know, like they put the brick face up afterwards. That's what it looks like. Here we are. A lot of cellar spaces, but there's a window and like a trap door. So you need windows for ventilation. But here's more. Now this is an old church building. And there you are again. There are the windows. Below street level. So was there a mud flood? There's all kinds of talk about our changed chronology. Isaac Newton did a study of chronology, apparently. Look at that. The first floor is below ground. These steps are new. The building looks much older than those steps right there. So that's really what it looks like. Old brickwork in the back. And, you know, what are these windows doing right here? It's very oddly shaped stuff. Very odd. And then now the second floor, who knows? This is the Central Synagogue. Let's see if we can find an address. I don't see one. But we are now on the corner of East 55th Street and Lexington Avenue. So, it's the right neighborhood. If any of you researching Tartarian this is the right neighborhood. I found, just walking down the street in the last few minutes, found a few likely candidates. Here's another one. 135 East 55th. Hard to say. It's hard to say. You got to get a closer look. And I really admire the diligent researchers who really do the historical research and dig into old building plans. I'm just taking a walk down the street here and following other people's lead. They put clues out, and I see if I can find any corroborating evidence. So there are plenty of cellar spaces in New York, no shortage of it. And I'm not just looking at architecture, I'm walking down the streets of New York. You don't know who's around you, so I always try to keep an eye over my shoulder and see who's behind me, who's coming up ahead. Try not to step in anything or step over someone. But there's some more stuff. Underground, above ground, which is the real first floor. Here we are, going down, going up. Is that really the first floor, or is that the basement? Or the second floor? It's hard to see. So I am now at 3rd Avenue and East 55th Street, and good job everybody who's looking into this stuff. I would not know where to begin. I never even heard of this stuff until before recently, and pretty far out, really remarkable, and curious. So with all the disinformation campaigns going on simultaneously, it's really nice to see people come out with real research. I'm sorry so much of it has been associated with the flat earth, but guilt by association is not binding. And flat earth is try to infiltrate all kinds of truth movements. The Mudflood Tartarian is new to me, but the flat earth is attacked the Illuminati secret space research. They have attacked 9/11 truth, obviously, just by being agent provocateur. And they're attacking our churches, for that matter. If you really want to know the difference, church isn't a building, church is in your heart. And it wasn't until Martin Luther that the common person was even allowed to read the Bible. So the Bible was rewritten every time a new empire conquered. The Babylonians, the Persians, the Romans, now the New World Order. The Bible is a huge source of disinformation. If anybody, takes the Bible word for word as a euhemerist interpretation, is living in all kinds of contradictions, the doublets and triplets in the Bible. The book contradicts itself repeatedly, and it was really 20th century research that led people to look again. But I'd say the best information on Tartaria that I've gotten is probably coming from the YouTube New Earth channel, all one word, New Earth. And that is a Bulgarian source. But there's some other good stuff. And, not all the flat earthers are COINTELPRO. They're missing a lot, but I'll take a look now and then. And I go a lot by if the person is antagonistic or not, or if they have any integrity in their research. I understand principles of cognitive dissonance and psychological resistance, and sometimes it's hard to shake a concept, shake an idea, and admit you're wrong. I think the big thing is in economic theory, people have to know when to cut their losses. And that's a lot of it. People are so heavily invested in their own work. It's really important to listen to other voices and take a look. I spent a long time looking at flat Earth research before I came out calling it COINTELPRO, and it can't all be COINTELPRO, though a lot of it looks like that. So I spent a long time looking at 9/11 research before I came out and did Building 7, which was one of the biggest smoking guns for any New Yorker. And I'm just, for the record, that's my block. I grew up right across the street. I have a mother and an aunt and an uncle who all worked right across the street from Building 7, the original Building 7. And I used to play there when I was a kid before the building was built. I was there when I was 3 years old in 1980, and the building was completed in 1990. So I was there for the whole thing. And I wasn't there that day, September 11, 2001, but New Yorkers were not allowed there. You either had to work there or be a resident. And though I had family that worked there, I wasn't allowed to go there. So I moved upstate for a long time and wasn't able to come back until 2015, about 3.5, almost 4 years ago now. So I did the Ground Zero We Are Change. It was the founding chapter that pretty much fell apart. Luke Rudowski took money that was supposed to be for donations and put it towards his college tuition. It was supposed to help the first responders. And a lot of people just got soured by it. A lot of other bad stories about Luke Rudowski. He was, accepting work from people, making money and not paying people. He took a lot of credit for work that other people did. You see him on film, but you don't know who was holding the camera. And those people got stiffed. Stand there and hold the camera yourself before you judge against them in favor of Luke. He didn't speak against them, but he didn't speak in favor of them. So there were a lot of people who were not credited, and there was very little left of the Ground Zero We Are Change. They weren't even really calling themselves We Are Change anymore. They were no longer affiliated with the wearechange.org website, and they had nothing nice to say about Luke. It's too bad. People make bad decisions when they're young. I'll give you an example. I'm at East 59th Street and 2nd Avenue. It's a very busy intersection going onto the bridge. And when I was 17, I jaywalked right across this intersection, right in front of the police. I got away, but I jaywalked probably in front of like a bunch of cars. Cops didn't stop me or anything. There's a lot of jaywalking in this city. It's tolerated here, unlike places like California. But jaywalking right now. This part isn't as bad. It's back there. So I lived, but some people don't. And, what do you do? Move on with your life and live and learn, right? All right, so that was a little rant. And, excuse me. And that's it. I'm just gonna go about my way. And I don't see any more architecture now, so that's it. All right. Well, if you have any insight, I'd really appreciate it. If you know anything about the buildings that I brought up, I'm definitely going to follow back up on the University Club because it looks like there's Harvard and a bunch of other universities that are affiliated there, and we know they are a central core of the propaganda matrix, the dumbing down of America, all the medical fraud in the cancer industry, fluoridating the water. They're right in there. You know, if you want to be in the elite, those are the schools you go to, and that's their private club. And it looks like it has Tartarian architecture. Here's some more. Here's some of these windows. Now I'm on 2nd Avenue, 2nd Street. So I don't know. Cheryl Wagner. Tall building, brick face. Don't know what's been done to this building, but the front of it certainly looks like it's been changed. I gotta get off the phone, off of YouTube. You just never know. There's been so much corruption in New York City. It's 1166 2nd Avenue is what it looks like. Day & Meyer, Murray & Young Corporation. All right. Well, it's a hell of a town. The Bronx is up and the Battery's down. Good night, everybody. Please send comments about your own Mudflood Tartarian research, what you know. And, you know, flat earthers are welcome, but not encouraged. Tolerated, but not endorsed. Good night.